Hey everyone, I hope you're having a super awesome day. I really wanted to do this live, but my life did not allow for that for several reasons. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about shame and how EFT helped me to release some of the shame that I've been holding, and also do a little bit of a demonstration of the EFT technique and kind of like walk you through how you can do it, how you can use it for other things. So shame is a really big emotion that can come out in a variety of ways. If our shame is triggered, and it's so funny because I went to this Gabby Bernstein workshop for her Happy Days book that came out, which was an amazing book. You should definitely check it out. And she started talking about shame. My immediate reaction was, okay, well, I don't have any of that. Like, I'm good. And then she told us that one of the big key indicators that you have shame is that you are denying that you have shame. And I was like, oh, crap. So yeah, if you just said I have no shame, you more than likely actually do have shame. Other ways it can come out is we can try to people please. So we try to get people to like us, or we try to do whatever we can to like meet their needs. Another way that shame can be seen is through self-blame, which is like, let's say you have a situation with somebody, you guys get into a fight or an argument, and you're like, oh, this is all my fault. And like, you don't let the person take any responsibility. Anger. So like if your shame gets triggered, you might get really pissed off or start yelling and screaming at somebody. Wanting to isolate or disappear because, you just want to just be alone. And then sometimes we can even go as far as to try to self-soothe our shame with an addiction like alcohol. So shame can come from a variety of places. It's an existential feeling of unworthiness, essentially. It's feeling as though you are inadequate as a person, and you may not even be doing this consciously. It could totally be subconscious. This could be something you picked up whenever you were younger. I know that's likely what it was for me. I know for a long time too, for me, I carry a lot of shame. I still do. I may get emotional, being a single mom, being divorced twice. Those things make me feel a lot of shame. See, I told you, it's okay. This is why this is not live, because I already did some tapping today and I have been super emotional all day, but it's okay. Vulnerability is a good thing. Sometimes we have to be. That's how we're going to release it. So if you don't realize this, or you didn't know this, or you've heard of it and you think it's kind of hokey, we are learning more and more. And I learned this years ago in a book called The Body Keeps Score by Vessel Vanderbeek. I'm like, what am I saying? Our body actually traps and stores emotions if we don't allow them to fully process. And I'm going to be honest, I grew up in a household where it was like, get over it, move on, stop your crying. There was no emotional validation. And that's just how a lot of us, especially like people my age, I'm turning 40 this year, that's how a lot of us grew up. And that's because our parents didn't realize the impact that that would have on us as we became adults. And so now it's our responsibility to take control of ourselves, take responsibility, take accountability, and try to heal some of these wounds that, may have unintentionally been put upon us. And so one thing that really helped me, and I did this in Gabby's workshop, was the emotional freedom technique. And that's essentially tapping certain points of the body that hold energy, and it helps to kind of recenter everything and balance everything. Funny story, I tried tapping a few years ago and I hated it. And I found out that the reason I likely hated it is because I had so much emotion hidden that I was more activated at the end of my tapping session than I was when I started. So I thought, this doesn't work. Well, it was actually uncovering other things. So that's kind of what I learned. So don't be like me and give up right away. So basically what we're going to do, and I'm going to do this with you, and this is just a basic tapping. You can get really deeper into it. There's a lot more to learn, but this is just like the basics. So we're going to tap a few points on our body. We're going to start with right here, and we're going to tap like 7 or more times. You don't have to count because I'm going to be tapping. So it's just a really light tap. And if you want to think like, it's almost kind of like acupressure type thing without the needle. So we will start here, then we'll do above the eyebrow, and then we'll go here, under the eye, up here, like right under your nose, chin, and we'll do like our clavicle, so that little bone right here. We'll do like kind of at the end of that, and then you want to do under your arm, and then we'll end at top of the head. As we do this, we're gonna say some certain statements. And what you're gonna notice that's a little bit different about EFT is that the statements actually do focus on the negative in the beginning. So we're gonna work on shame, and we're gonna do 3 rounds. Now, if you notice yourself feeling worse, because I'm going to walk you through the whole process. If you notice yourself feeling worse after, I would say do it again. You're likely uncovering something that has been sitting in your body for a long time. If it gets to a point where you just can't do it anymore, stop, take some breathers, and try it again another day. So the first step is that we are going to kind of just gauge where we are right now. Well, before we do the gauging, we should probably come up with our statement. So what we're going to do, and you can use this statement for anything you're trying to tap, because you can do this with any subject that you feel uncomfortable about. So we're going to say, even though I have this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. And we're going to say that when we tap here. And then as we move around, you'll notice that I'm saying just kind of little reminders, but I'm not using the whole statement. As you kind of learn how to do this, you can change it for your own situation. So these are not like blanket statements that you must say. This is just kind of how I learned to do it. So that's how I'm teaching you. If you would want to tap for something else, let's say you are afraid of spiders, you could do it. Even though I have this fear of spiders, I completely and deeply accept myself. The second part's always the same. It's the first. You never want to make it about someone else. So you don't want to say, even though my husband's an asshole. No, just kidding. I mean, maybe he is, or she, if you're, married to a woman, maybe your spouse. I don't know. I don't know your situation, whatever. You would say, even though I feel this anger at my husband, I fully and completely accept myself. So you want to make it about you, okay? This morning I did another one where I did lack. I was like, even though I have this fear of lack, I totally and fully accept myself, because sometimes I get into a scarcity mindset. So what we're going to do first, now that we have our statement, so I guess we're doing this second. So our statement is, even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, as you think of the word shame, I want you to kind of gauge how you feel in your body. So when you think of shame, does your heart start racing? Do you feel uncomfortable? Are your shoulders tensing up? What are you feeling in your body when you hear me say the word shame? Are you pushing it away? Are you in denial? So you want to kind of rate that intensity. Do you feel it really strongly, like a 10, or do you kind of just feel it a little, maybe like a 3 or a 4? So make sure you make a note of that. And now we're going to start tapping, and we're going to do this 3 times in a row. So you'll see me do the whole sequence 1, 2, 3 times, and you can do this with me. I'm going to keep my eyes open, but you can feel free to close your eyes if you want, or you can keep them open and watch me. Either way is fine. I'm going to make sure I'm positioned in here with my lovely Star Wars shirt on. And here we go. So we're going to start here, And we're just going to say, even though I feel this shame, I fully and completely and deeply accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. I feel deep shame. Side of the eye, sometimes it feels like too much. Bottom of the eye, I feel such intense shame. I don't want to deal with it. Upper lip, it feels like too much. Chin, I don't know if I can let this go. Clavicle, I don't know if I'm strong enough. Now under the arm, who am I without my shame? Now on the top of the head, I feel such shame. And now we're going to start again. So back to the hand. And you don't have to switch sides, but you can. Even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, above the eyebrow, I'm ready to let this shame go. Side of the eye, it's okay to let it go. Under the eye, I don't need this shame anymore. Upper lip, I release the shame. I'm ready to release it. Chin, it's time for me to free myself from shame. Okay, on the clavicle, the shame is no longer serving me. Okay, under the arm, I'm letting the shame go now. Top of the head, it's time for me to figure out who I am without shame. And now we're going to do one more. Even though I feel this shame, I completely and deeply accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I completely and deeply accept myself. Even though I feel this shame, I completely and deeply accept myself. Above the eye, feels good to let go of my shame. Side of the eye, my shame's been lying to me this whole time. I am good enough. Under the eye, I am worthy of everything I desire. Okay, upper lip, I fully and completely embrace who I am meant to be without shame. Chin, I unapologetically accept myself for who I am. Okay, clavicle, I love being without shame. Okay, underarm, goodbye shame. It was nice to know you. See you later. Don't come back now. And finally, top of the head. I'm free from shame. I released my shame. Okay, now that was 3. What you want to do is notice how you feel in your body. Do you feel more intense when you think of shame? Less intense? Do you feel lighter? How are you feeling? Make sure you make a note of it. And I definitely want to hear in the comments below if you try this. I want you to tell me, where did you start and where did you finish? If you feel worse, or if you noticed that your body was having a negative reaction, maybe you felt it deeper in the pit of your stomach. That happened to me the first time I did it. Like I said, I didn't fully realize how much I was holding in at the time. If that happens to you, you can take a break and try again another day. Just be really gentle with yourself about it. It's okay. Be compassionate. You might do a heart hold if you're feeling that way. That's where you put your hand on your chest and on your belly, and you just kind of close your eyes and breathe and just say something like, I acknowledge what you're feeling right now, and I'm here to take care of you. So that's something that you can do if you're feeling a little activated. Drink a lot of water. Like I said, you can do EFT for a number of things. Maybe next week I can do another session on, I don't know, maybe unworthiness. That was something I did today and it really affected me, which I'm not sad about. But I mean, I'm sad because I was sad, but I had to release it. That's another thing. You might notice yourself getting emotional, something like that, because you're releasing something that's been stored in your body for a long time. So just be nice to yourself today and have a good one.